Welcome everybody, I am 6am Comics, and this is reviewing my 9-year-old's comics. We've had an epic few weeks as far as reviews go. We saw the completion of Super Nolan 3, experienced the long-lost maiden voyage of the Black Widow, witnessed the creation of a new worldwide hero with Nolan and his pencil sword, and we were finally blessed with the long-awaited review of Worldwide War. Now, how the heck do you follow up a string of bangers like that? How about with one final outing for the Human Spider series? In the aftermath of some of the most awful preservation techniques ever carried out in the comic book industry, Nolan decided to wipe the slate clean for this arachnid-themed hero and reboot the franchise. Only this time he'd be sure to protect his new run from the hazardous environment his bedroom had become, and instead leave the final product in the living room drawer downstairs. It's something I've told him time and time again not to do, but since when does a middle child follow the rules? In any case, this is one of the only Human Spider comics which has stayed in one piece. And unfortunately, it's the only issue in the series that was ever created. Shortly after its completion, Nolan decided the character was too similar to the League of Superhero member John, and decided to just give John the mantle of Human Spider and decanonize any previous existing Human Spider issues. So join me as we take a look at the very last remaining Human Spider comic, The Human Spider: Humble Beginnings. Shall we? Beginning with the overall presentation, the cover is beautifully illustrated in full color using an interesting blend of inks and colored pencil. And what do we have here? 25 cents! That's affordable. So affordable, he wrote it down twice. Our hero stands proudly atop a building, looking over his city. As we can clearly see, Human Spider has undergone a serious makeover. Gone is the smiley face LED mask, replaced with a colorful visor and a helmet resembling something more akin to the Doomslayer, only red. Not to beat a dead horse, but we can see early on that former editor and big brother Milo had no involvement in this comic, as we've got the usual typos found in a book lacking his involvement.
In the beginning.
Comics are a visual medium anyway, I think we can let it slide. Our interiors are presented in a standard black and white pencil, possibly to ensure the sales price remains at 25 cents a comic. So affordable. Despite the attempt to preserve this issue, Nolan did unfortunately leave it unattended on the dining room table, and it suffered some minor water damage from a very messy little brother attempting to open a water bottle. Damaged paper is basically a staple of the Human Spider franchise at this point. This is one of the shorter books in the Worldwide Archive, coming in at an underwhelming 7 pages, which again can probably be chalked up to keeping the price at 25 cents. Despite all this, the line work remains top-notch, and you can even see the early stages of the more serious stylization utilized in the Spectacular Black Widow series. Similar to Spectacular Black Widow and the Super Nolan reboots, this series was seeking to shift away from its more cartoonish roots in favor of something more realistic. However, just like those IPs, Nolan ultimately reverted back to his traditional cartoon style. As for the story, let's have a read, shall we? We begin on the other side of the Earth. A mysterious figure stands ominously by a giant torch, looking over a holographic projection of our title hero. Spider thing! The perfect opportunity for revenge! But how? Bring him to me. Meanwhile, a large truck speeds out of control, its passengers screaming that he can't stop it. The truck speeds closer and closer to a water tower with a terrifying warning. Do not smash a car into it or it will flood the city. That's quite a design flaw. The driver braces himself for impact, but at the last moment, a string of non-copyright infringing webbing wraps itself around the vehicle at the last moment and stops the car from impacting the water tower. Who else could it be but the beloved Human Spider? He swoops away from the scene, having saved the day, though the driver is left stranded with a burning truck, wondering how he's going to get home. How did the truck light on fire again? He probably shouldn't stand so casually next to that. As the human spider soars through the air, something forms around him. Some kind of bubble-like force field. Startled, our hero screams, "What's going on? Ah!" The bubble flies off and carries our hero rapidly around the Earth before it zooms out of the atmosphere. It finally stops and hovers before our mysterious figure from the book's intro. He greets our hero. "Hello, invertebrate." Wow, he almost spelled this one correctly. So close. "I give you one chance to join me." To be continued. I said to be continued. It's here that our story ends. A cliffhanger to leave fans indefinitely frustrated. Who is this mysterious figure on the far side of the Earth? What was his plan for revenge, and why did he require the allegiance of the human spider? How would our hero get out of this mess, if at all? Sadly, we'll never know. I've gone through many worldwide archives searching through books, sketches, and concept art, and I can't find a single villain matching this attire. It's still entirely possible that when Nolan finally finishes The League of Superheroes 2, that we may receive an answer to some of these questions. As I previously mentioned, Human Spider was retconned to be John from the League, so perhaps we'll be given a conclusion to the story via flashback. Maybe the story begins immediately following this issue, or maybe nothing will come of it at all. In the end, comics like these are an important aspect to the worldwide comics empire. They're part of a process, stepping stones to greatness. The Human Spider never took off conceptually, but the League of Superheroes did. However, the character of John was never as fleshed out as the other heroes, and thus, Human Spider, humble as his beginnings were, was a perfect fit to fill that void. Wait a second. Humble as his beginnings were? Maybe the title to this issue is more relevant than we thought. And there you have it, the first and final issue of the Human Spider reboot. Like I said, this character was ultimately retconned to be the League of Superheroes member John, and outside of a brief cameo in World Wide War, we've yet to see him make any other appearances. At least as far as comic books go, because as with League of Superheroes, Nolan does occasionally like to dip into the world of novellas, and he recently completed this particular short story, Superior Heroes Origins, the Human Spider. I don't know, is this something you'd be interested in seeing me review? Do you want more Human Spider solo issues, or do you think he makes more sense as a team member? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see y'all next Monday for another review. Bye-bye.